Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of Jogta Academy. So as you know, we are discussing the pre-examination analysis of HAS 2022 and I'll be specifically dealing with the modern history part of the question paper. So the art and culture part or the ancient or medieval part will be dealt by someone else. So before starting or going through the analysis, I would like to bring your attention to the new courses. First is the HAS mains test series for 2022. As you know that the mains are lined up from 15th of this year, December. So the test series is starting at both Chandigarh and Shimla Center from 4th of November. So you can call on these numbers. Also, we are giving the updated material for mains, both GS1, GS2, GS3 and Himachal Pradesh GK. So anyone interested for both the HPS mains or the study material can contact on these numbers 977 9464 470 and the rest details are on your screen. So we'll start with the basic analysis. So this is the C series and the modern history part started from the 72nd question. So the first question was, who was the founder of Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science 1876? Very straightforward question. The answer was B. Mahendra Lal Sarkar. But what is interesting and what is important for you to know is from where this question was taken. So the question belonged to the Indian national movement and specifically the role of science in the national movement. So Mr. Mahendra Lal Sarkar was a Bengal doctor or a surgeon. So he wanted to challenge the British intellectual hegemony. So basically it is a monopoly. So Britishers at that time were having their monopoly in the Western medicine. So in the 1867 he opened a campaign for the National Science Association, and with the efforts of this campaign in the year 1876 on 29th of July, he set up this Indian Association for Cultivation of Science. So from this institute you will see many scientists and notable doctors would come up. One of the important one is Dr. C.V. Raman. This was one of the option given in the question. So it was in this institute where he gave his famous Raman effect and won the Nobel Prize in 1930. Apart from this, other notable people who helped in the national movement and raised the bars of science was P.C. Ray. He is known for his 1901 Bengal chemist and pharmaceutical work, and one was J.C. Bose. So one more thing which is important from this institute is that its first president was Sir Richard Temple. He is largely known to help the people during the famines of 1872 and 74, both Bengal and Madras. So he imported rice from British Burma. So these are very few points which give you extra edge to your paper in your answer writing also. So this is a very important part. So this question would definitely not repeat, but you could be asked about P.C. Ray, or you could be asked about J.C. Bose, or even you could be asked about C.V. Raman. So this is how you need to start preparing. You need to deeply understand the concept of Indian national movement, not only Indian national movement and the leaders, but you need to understand the role of science, role of peasants, role of industrialists, role of women, everyone who has just helped us in this Indian national movement. So this would further help you in your answer writing. So the next question was, who said Lord Ripon the savior of India and his rule the beginning of a golden age in India? So it was a easy question, straightforward question. So if you have read about Lord Ripon, so Florence Nightingale commented this thing on Lord Ripon because during this time Lord Ripon just liberated India from few of the most extreme laws or acts which were implemented by the British India, specifically Lord Lytton. So one was the Vernacular Press Act of 1881, one was he raised the age of civil services from 18 to 21, and you will see other acts were like he was the first one to introduce the Factory Act, and his most famous was the Local Self-Government Act of 1882. So somehow, somewhere, Lord Ripon just helped India to gain an edge, and really this Lord Ripon's work really gave an momentum, a push to the national movement of India, specifically in the rural areas through this Local Self-Government Act. So he is also regarded as a friend of India, and his whole period is generally considered as the golden age in India regarding, we'll talk about the viceroys or the governor generals of India. So the next question was, who said Raja Ram Mohan Roy was the only person in this time period, in his time, to realize completely the significance of the modern age? Again, a very conceptual question. You really cannot remember all the sayings or the comments or the phrases regarding the national leaders, but you understand what is happening right now. The questions are generally being asked from the Indian national movement aspect. So this is the most crucial part of the modern history. So if we'll try to eliminate all these options, so this would become really difficult. So if we go through this, both Sumit Sarkar ji and Barunde ji were notable historians. In fact, Sumit Sarkar was the student of Barunde, and Barunde is known for his work in freedom struggle of India along with Bipin Chandra. So and Sumit Sarkar famous work, his book is also known as the Swadeshi movement of Bengal. So these two people were generally, Sumit Sarkar was born in 1939 and Barunde was born in 1932. And if we look at, they had different ideology from Mr. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Now we'll come up to Aurobindo Ghosh ji, also popularly known as the prophet of nationalism. So Aurobindo Ghosh also had a very extreme philosophy. The initial phase of his time period was like extreme nationalism, and after 1909 the extreme phase which became was he became a saint and went to Puducherry. So in between, you will say the extremism philosophy or the ideology does not fit well with the Raja Ram Mohan Roy ideology. So you could have easily eliminated these three answers and you would have left with the answer or the closest answer if you did not know the answer here. So Rabindranath Tagore. So Mr. Rabindranath Tagore, you see, is a person with great intellectual, and Rabindranath Tagore generally quotes three people and Bhagavad Gita in his works, you have seen. So one is Mahatma Gandhi, second is Raja Ram Mohan Roy, his English aspect of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, then is Shivaji Maharaj, the Swaraj concept, and the last part he generally refers to is the Bhagavad Gita. So if you understand the fundamentals of the concepts of history, this question was also a very easy question. And one more thing, this question was asked because it was the 250 years anniversary of Mr. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So the commission had an idea or a belief or a concept before asking this question. So this is something about Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So why he is regarded as the modern age individual or the first modern man of India? Because of his social reforms which were infused with the modern ideas, and he just overtook the orthodox society or the orthodox culture of India in the 1830s. So this is how these are the four important things. Rest. The next question is, which among the following books was not written by B.R. Ambedkar? A very simple question again. If you have read about Mr. M.N. Roy, you must be knowing India in Transition is a very, very famous book of Mr. M.N. Roy, in which he has told the brief changes which happened due to the inculcation of communalism. So annihilation of caste, state and minorities, and what Congress and Gandhi have done to the untouchables is the brief work of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, whereas India in Transition is a work of Mr. M.N. Roy. So in 1922, with the rise in communism or the communist ideas, in this book, Indian Transition, he gave the idea of nationalization of mines, water and railways, and thus in this book, India in Transition, describes a new age in India which was started. His other works are India's Message, Poverty or Plenty, and Beyond Communism. So this could be further asked in your exam, if not the same. And these are the some of the works of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and we should all know that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is a very integral part of the ideology of the commission. His role in politics, his role in constitutional law and upliftment of the Dalits even. So Article 32 is generally very closely attached to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So these are few of the works. So you need to remember them, especially Mook Nayak and Janta, his weekly newspapers or journals. So the next question is, which pair is not correctly matched? Again, a very simple and a factual question. So the answer was Hunter Education Commission, which was implemented by Lord Ripon in the year 1882. So this would be 2, and it was a very easy question. So the Sadler Commission was in 1917 under Lord Chelmsford, Hunter Commission 1882 Lord Ripon, the Hartog Commission 1929 Lord Ripon. It is also known as the torch bearer of the government, but the irony is it never came into play. Otherwise, we could have seen a great upliftment in the education system of the India that time because of the crisis of 1930s and 1920s and 1930s. And the last was the Indian Universities Act of 1904, which was the direct result of the Rayleigh Commission of 1902 of Lord Curzon. So this was a pretty straightforward question given in the appendix of Spectrum or many books of the British administration. So this is a brief timeline of education, rise of education or the growth of education in India. So the all started with William Adams' report on vernacular education in Bihar, Bengal, Odisha, BBO, and then you will see Macaulay's Minute will come up, and then you see Wood Dispatch will come up, and the Raja Rammohn Roy completely was there here, and his brief ideas gave us the theory of nation building regarding English as the main language. And you will see all these commissions or the committees till 1944, and the last recognized commission was the Wardha Education Pact or the Wardha Commission, which today is the basis of our 5334 new education policy. So you can go through them. Now the last question was where was the Indian Independence Committee set up by Lala Hardayal and his friends? So again, a very simple and a very direct question. The answer was Berlin, Germany. However, these are all the areas where he has visited during his lifetime. So we'll have a brief look in his period. So Lala Hardayal was born in 1884 in Delhi. After that, he moved to Britain, and in Britain, in London, which was one of the options, he rejected his 2 doctorate degrees. Along with this, he rejected ICS Civil Services and quoted to hell with ICS also. Then next, he moved to Paris and started working in the Vande Mataram paper, and also started working in the programs of Nationalist Party. In further, he went to America, San Francisco. He joined the Industrial Unionism, and in 1913 he started Pacific Coast Hindustan Association, which will then turn up to be the Great Ghadar Party, and it will start the Great Ghadar movement in typically India, America, the word at that time. So next, he went to Berlin, Germany. He basically escaped his arrest there. So he went to Germany, Berlin, and he set up the Berlin Committee along with Vrindranath Chattopadhyay, his friends, and Bhupendranath Datta. This was this committee or this Berlin Committee which gave us the Zimmermann Plan. The plan talks about providing arms and ammunitions to India from your Berlin or the areas where they were active. And last, in Philadelphia, he died. So you will see majority of his life was outside India, but you need to have a clear understanding about the areas. Meanwhile, you will see again a leader has been asked from Indian national movement. So when we analyze this paper, you will see a brief amount of questions have been asked from the national movement expect. So what will be the key takeaways from this paper? The key takeaways from this paper or any history paper to be specific is that after 1885 you need to just learn everything and conceptualize and connect the dots. Okay, so Indian national movement, you need to understand the concepts behind them, you need to read the leaders, specifically the Congress leaders, the early leaders of Congress, the moderates, the extremists. Then comes the second phase of the leaders, the young blood, the young revolutionary leaders. Also, you need to learn about the specific British policies or the committees or the commissions regarding education, famine committee or administration committee, ICS committee. So these are certain aspects which you need to remember. Also, you need to take out important viceroys also like Ripon, Lytton, Curzon, which indirectly or directly had an effect on the Indian history, be it a negative effect like the partition of Bengal or a positive effect like repealing of the partition of Bengal or like 1858 ka act. So this is the basic key takeaway. Also from the past few years, I would like to, though it is just a advice, you need to study on your own, but from the past few years very few questions have been asked from the advent of Europeans part. So generally you can skip that expect for the prelims, but for the mains it is a very interesting and a very important topic, the advent of Europeans and the advent of Britishers. And then if we talk about the building phase of the 1857 revolt, it is again a very important phase. So you need to understand and learn all the important peasant movements, though they were not asked here, but the Naib Tehsildar paper is generally the place where these questions can be asked. The Birsa Munda movement or Nirankari movement or any movement be it be. So you need to understand and club the factual data along with the concepts for a holistic approach so that you can remember the facts for a very long period. So this was all about the analysis. So in the end, I would like to again share with you. So we'll be starting with the new batch from the 8th of November and the batch will start both in Chandigarh and Shimla Center. So these are the features of our course, and for this you can call on 86288 64475 or 8847232312. So we are here in BCS Shimla, our new center in Shimla, Himachal Pradesh, and rest in the end for further updates and new videos you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. So as the current affairs section was very large and very in depth, so we regularly daily provide the current affair updates on the YouTube channel. So you can subscribe to the YouTube channel of Jokta Academy, and for the updates of our batches, or we also supply the newspaper there, the PDFs, you can just visit our Telegram channel Jokta Academy and also join there. So thank you so much, and if you have any comment or you have any suggestion or any correction, feel free to comment. Thank you so much and happy Diwali, and have a safe Diwali. Thank you.